2022 Stratford School Board meeting, and it is 6:05. And we're going to roll. Eric?
Yes.
Jessica?
Yes.
Katrina?
Yes.
Liz?
Yes.
Debbie? Here. Okay. The first item on our agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I'd like to also welcome our new secretary, Keisha Morse. Thank you, Keisha. Thank you very much. I think you have everybody right? Yes? Okay. All right. Next, we have our food service proposal and presentation, and that is Chris.
Hi.
Chris, you want to, I don't know where you want to stand. Do you want to maybe set the table over here, or?
Whatever works for you guys.
How about, would that be good? We can, you want to set at the table near the, just so you're
Sure.
comfortable?
So thank you for inviting me here. I really don't have any kind of presentation prepared, so I don't know if you just have any questions about the proposal or Fresh Picks or anything that you want to talk about right now, or?
Okay, I guess I'll give a summary, and then I think Keisha has some things to say, and, not Keisha, I'm sorry, Katrina, Katrina and Lisa. We had a committee look through the proposals, we had to rate the proposals. The committee also went to site visits to Barrington Elementary School, Barrington Middle School, Northwood School, and I don't want to take away your report, if I am.
No, you're good.
Okay. We met with the food service directors there, the staff, we met with administrators and so forth, and we had a lot of good information. We also had the Barrington visit, we had Liz also join us, and then Northwood rather, the entire board went. And I think, Keisha, you want to summarize?
Yeah.
Katrina. Oh,
Katrina.
gosh, why am I doing this? Okay.
No, okay, so just kind of a summary of what we observed when we visited both all Barrington Elementary School, Barrington Middle School, and Northwood School. Their kitchens were very cleanly, organized. They had a minimal amount of food being stored in their food storage rooms, or even in their refrigerator and freezers. The staff members that we did talk to, the food service directors, are very knowledgeable, were able to answer all of our questions. They had fresh, healthy food options for the students that we even sampled at Barrington Middle School, which was very good. They had a smooth process in place for serving the students, attractive food presentations. They'd have fruit set out like in a basket for the kids and stuff. That was nice. So we met with, as she mentioned, the food service directors at Barrington Schools and Northwood School. We've been talking several times with Chris. He's answered our many questions that everyone on the board has had. We've reviewed every page of this in-depth proposal. I've personally reached out to parents of children in the surrounding school districts that currently use Fresh Picks to get their feedback. All has been positive. To summarize the benefits that I've found from potentially using Fresh Picks Cafe, they're focused on scratch-made meals. The school board would still have local control over the options offered. It stays within our current amount budgeted for the food service program. I think that their amount came back within like $500. They didn't see our budget, and it somehow came back within $500 of what we currently budget. One thing that we've our SAU office has had to deal with is managing the finances and the personnel. It's very time consuming for them. Those duties would be taken over completely by Fresh Picks Cafe. So again, they have creative and healthy food options. There's opportunities for their food service employees to grow their career within Fresh Picks. So they're not just limited to being food service workers here at Stratford School if they have a bigger vision for themselves. And it also allows us to focus on education and not be in the food service industry. And Fresh Picks Cafe appear to be experts in their field, where they pool resources for buying power and their knowledge, with dietitians on hand, and so yeah. So that's my summary.
Thank you. Lisa, did you have some information?
Sure. So I had tried to reach out to other business administrators, somebody that's similar in my role, to see what their experience has been like, and obviously trying to focus on the financial side of things as well as just overall quality. I know that's a big driver of why we're looking to do something different. So I did speak with a business manager who works in Henniker School District, which is bigger than our school district, but he presented a unique perspective because they have half, like their high school, they run their in-house program versus their elementary runs. They work with Fresh Picks. I also had spoken with, or received feedback from a local business administrator in Farmington, which is very similar in size to us. So overall, their feedback, I think, is very consistent with, they've had an overall really good experience. There have been some, just some things, maybe things that have come up in the past, but were resolved, pretty quickly. They really like the staff. They, for instance, the person from Farmington said they have a really good manager that they brought in, very outstanding, making sure the children are fed, even if they wander in for breakfast after hours. So, just from the financial reporting side of things, they said that they were always, very on time and, just timely each month. Also with the food waivers, how that's been an issue with food supply, knowing how to fill out that paperwork. So it seems like a lot of administrative work they would take out of our hands. Food quality, again, there were some things that were raised with that, but I think we were reminded that we also have control over really what we want. So I think that's important.
And I think we had to rate the proposal and to make sure that it included, let's see, do you have the proposal rating? Thank you. Okay, so that the proposal had a very in-depth outline budget. It also, we have all the references and their service capability, the way that they're going to be doing the accounting and reporting systems, the financial condition of the company, how they train their management and personnel. They talk about also how they promote the lunch program, marketing, and so forth. That was all in here, how they involve students, staff in the community. In fact, we had in Barrington, that food service director, she was making turkeys like for the food pantry and doing things like that. In fact, we saw our former assistant principal, Deanna Ray, who just really was, talking about the program was wonderful, how happy she was there. They talked, we have in-depth menus here about the use of commodities, food quality, the type of staffing that's recommended, about if there are rebates and credits that they receive, they pass that on to us, about the code of conduct expected by their employees, and how they access their products, how they purchase their products. We did talk about the possibility of working with the area farms, and such as Buttermilk Farms, and Chris is going to look into that if we do choose them, and really we'd like to get, if we go this route, to involve farms in the area. And we like the idea of the scratch cooking. In fact, the Barrington, those of us who went to Barrington had delicious made from scratch macaroni and cheese, and it was buffalo chicken macaroni and cheese, and macaroni and cheese with homemade croutons, and then plain macaroni and cheese, and there's a sandwich station. It was just, it was very good. So as far as the quality that we experienced, it was good. The costs of the lunches that was proposed is what we would be right now if we had raised a nickel each year. Since COVID, obviously everything's been for free. So we see that cost not changing. I don't know, anybody else, those people, anybody have any other feedback? You want to?
Yeah, just that the proposed number of employees would be the food service director and 2 part-time employees.
So, Chris, anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think you did a pretty good job wrapping it up. As Katrina said, there was a lot of questions over the past couple of visits. If you'd like me to go over any particular questions again, or have any more questions you want to do right now, I'd be more than happy to answer them. I will say to the working with local farms, yeah, you're absolutely right. We do have a mechanism in place where when there are farms in a community and a school district wants to use them, we can help them get on board with being a Fresh Picks approved vendor, and then work with the farm or the school to find ways to get the food from the farm to the school and include it in the program.
And Chris has looked at our kitchen, and actually our kitchen is, comparing it to Northwood, I think it's nicer. And they're, I hate to say that, but.
It's definitely similar.
It's so ours. Anyway, so I think with the amount of lunches that they're able to produce and everything, he feels that we have adequate space. And so I guess, I don't know, John, now, what, if you wanted to.
I think if the board wanted to go forward, that you would make a motion and authorize Lisa to begin contract negotiations with Chris and his organization. We are, of course, advised by the state, and there is a model contract that the state provides. We have options within that. I'm sure Chris is familiar with it. You've seen it many times. I sent it off to Jim O'Shaughnessy today to have him take a look at it. He was going to have one of the contract people look at it. But it looks really similar to what I've seen in the past, and I think it would be not a big deal, not a lot of work to come to an agreement between the two organizations. So Lisa would be able to, Chris would be able to start talking tomorrow if you took action tonight. The reminder that we need to have the contract to the state with a lot of background documentation. Lisa's on top of this also in advance, so that they would be able to review it and approve it and have it signed by June 30th.
Okay, so we would
that's
make
our time.
a motion to approve the contract and start the process of sending it to the state for final approval.
Yep, I think approve the concept of pursuing a relationship with Fresh Picks, and authorize Lisa to begin negotiating the contract with Chris.
Okay, and everybody has had a chance, Chris did send the electronic copies over.
Yep.
So, everybody had a chance to go through in detail. We have some of our members actually memorize, I think, every word in here. So, if people would like to move forward, since we have a deadline of June 30th, to get everything settled, do we have a motion?
I will make a motion to authorize Lisa to move forward with negotiating a contract on behalf of Stratford School with Fresh Picks Cafe by the deadline of June 30th for this 2022-2023 school year.
Do we have a second? Second, okay, discussion? So, so if the board is going to move forward with this, does that mean then, when does Fresh Picks actually start? Is it July 1st, or is it, when would they start?
So, yeah, I mean, the contract would typically be effective July 1st.
Okay.
And if there are things you need from us, anything starting July 1st, we're there. Typically, a lot of the administrative work is going to start as soon as this
Okay.
happens, in terms of notifying our vendors, that kind of stuff, getting things set up at the office, all of that. In terms of actual activities on site, since you don't have a summer program, that's going to be more August that we're going to come in and start have our food service director come in and start doing inventories and all of that kind of stuff.
All right, Eric,
Yes.
Liz,
Yes.
Katrina,
Yes.
Jess?
Yes.
Debbie, yes. Okay, so
Great.
Fresh Picks it is. And once we get this going, I think I would like to know if the board, if the committee can continue to work with you to help through the transition, just for expectations of things.
Yep, and
Yeah.
it's described in the proposal. Katrina probably remembers the words.
Right.
Part of my role is not just creating this business relationship, but staying with it to make sure that everything we talked about in the proposals, we actually follow through on. That's my responsibility for the company, is to make sure we're doing what we said we were gonna do. And then even after that, I stay involved with making sure client relations. At that point, it's a lot more with Lisa and John, but I stay involved throughout. So,
Great, thank you.
You're
Well, thank you, Chris.
thank you
Thanks,
all very
thanks
much.
for all your time, appreciate it.
Thank you. All righty, so now we do have a non-public, and that will be under C, I, and L, I think? C, I, and L?
BC, oh yeah, L also,
Yeah,
yes. BCI and L.
B, C, I, and L.